Here we have a review of the Max Factory Figma Zenitsu Agatsuma from Demon Slayer. This is the DX edition, so it does come in the nice slip casing. So taking a look at the packaging here, we do have the promo shot on the front with some gold labeling there on the bottom, which does look very nice. The slip casing for this is very slick. Has Zenitsu's name, DX edition, the Demon Slayer logo there on the side. Several promo shots here on the back with some legal there at the bottom. We do see the standard casing there on the inside with the DX edition label on the bottom. Just a barcode on the bottom and logo on the top. So taking this out of the slip case, we can actually see the figure now. So we do have a nice view of the figure and the accessories there. Promo shot here on the side. Additional promo shot on the other side. More on the back, which I believe these are all the same as from the, nope, they're a little bit different from what you have on the slip case. Some legal there at the bottom. Another promo shot there on the side. Promo on the bottom, and same one on the top there. And now to review the accessories. So we do have the standard accessories on the right side here, and the deluxe accessories on the left side. So we'll start with the standard accessories, which do include the Figma parts bag, the Figma stand base, arm, and then this angled piece for the top of the arm. We do have the arm tree here with 8 alternate hands, plus another alternate hand there that's not on the tree. So for the hands, we do have these wide open hands. We do have more relaxed open hands. We do have the sword gripping hands. And then we have grasping hands, which this one on the for the right hand is a bit more open than the one on the left there. So there's a slight difference between this last pair, but all the others are just the same hand for the right versus the left. And for the last hand, it is just a finger pointing. There is a little peg in there just to make sure that the peg hole doesn't close when it's not being used. You do get an extra wrist peg. We have our Ichirin sword here with the blade. There is some nice detailing there. A lot of nice paintwork. Does look pretty clean. The tassel here is out of a softer plastic, so it does ply a little bit. And then you have the Ichirin sword without the blade so that you can put that in his sheath. And the standard edition does come with 2 alternate faces. So you have his concentration or sleeping face, and then you have his scared face. And the detailing here looks really good. That looks really nice. Now, as for the deluxe accessories, so you do have one additional alternate head, which is sort of like a happy, love-struck face. I would imagine he's looking at Nezuko right now, just having a daydream about her. It's pretty funny. And then the rest of the accessories are for the effects piece. So if you want to do his first form, Thunderclap and Flash, we have all of these effect parts. So let's take a look, and the detailing here does look pretty nice. We do have the peg hole here in the back, and there's the different little peg stands for each of these. Again, this does look pretty nice. And we'll see how it actually all goes together here in a moment. And then you do get an extra base for this one, which is a hexagon base or hexagon base. It does have 4 peg holes in there for the different accessories, as well as for the a larger stand arm, so that you can have Zenitsu sort of flying above all the effects. And now to review the figure. So let's first take a look at the paint and detailing. So the detailing on the faceplate does look very clean. The colored portion of the bangs on the hair does look nice as well. There are a few parts like here, you can see it looks a little weird, and then there's a little bit of yellow showing through on that part of the back of the hair there. But overall, it does look pretty good. Now the jacket, I will say, does look very nice with the orange to yellow gradient, as well as all of the white triangles look very clean. You do have some nice detailing here in the uniform with the wrinkles as well as the belt and the buttons. Now for the shins and the ankles, there are a few parts where there's a bit of paint chips, like there, a little bit like right there. It's not perfect, but overall it does look pretty good, especially from a distance, not noticeable at all, and looks very nice. Now for the articulation, I will say right off the bat, there are some parts that just don't look great. So we do have the large elbow joints, which are standard on Figma, but for some reason, I don't know if it's just my memory or just me, but it doesn't look as nice on this. It stands out in not a good way, and so I really don't like the way it looks there. And then we also have the sort of joint here on the ab crunch, which is just very noticeable on this one. I wish they would have hidden that a bit better, but it stands out quite a bit. And then finally on the back, hidden under the jacket, you do have all the exposed innards there. And this is one more thing that I'll get into, is the waist on mine does pop off, but the innards on the back of the jacket, it's just very exposed, and it's the same thing they've done with Tanjiro and Nezuko as well. I think it's not as bad here, it's hidden a little bit better, but still, it's once you lift up the jacket, if you have a rear view, you can see the innards there. And so I really wish they would fix that with these figures. And then finally, on mine out of the package, the waist does pop out. So I may have to use some hot water to get a deeper fit on that. But on mine out of the package, the waist does want to pop out there. So let's take a look at the articulation. The head does move about that far forward, that far back, to the side, other side. Can do a full 360. The collar piece does rotate separately, so you can hold it there and still turn the head in either direction. For our shoulders, so it is a double ball joint on the shoulder, so you can bring that down, which gives you a bit more range of motion. Although when you do bring it down, it does look a little unsightly. So you can use that to your discretion. If you need more range of motion, you can pop that down and get a bit more range. But if you want it to look nice, especially for a close-up shot, pop that back up and it hides it pretty well. So we can do full 360 there. You can't go, well, you can sort of go straight up. It's a little bit blocked by this shoulder piece, but not too bad. Doesn't really want to hold straight up though. For the elbow, get about a little more than 90. The forearm does rotate this piece of fabric there. Then we do have a rotate and swivel there at the wrist. For the waist, can rotate pretty much 360. Only thing really blocking you is the sheath of the sword, and again, mine does pop out. Not sure if others will have that issue, but mine definitely does. For our ab crunch, again, it popped out on me. So I can crunch about that far forward and can look about that far back, which is definitely not as much as I would have hoped, considering you have this exposed joint there on the front. Try and pop that back in a bit better. All right, for the legs, so you do again have like a double ball joint here in the thigh, so you can pop that down and get some more range of motion out of that. But again, when you do that, it does leave more of a gap in there. So if you want to conceal that, just pop it back in. But for the side kick, And I'm just gonna try and get that in. It really does not want to stay right now. I think it's popped out so many times that it's just getting harder to stay in place. So I'll try and fix that after we get through this. But you can go almost 90, not quite, to the side, over 90 on the front. Can go about 90 on the back, but it does not look good on the front part when you do that. So if you're from the rear, you can do that like a running pose, but you're not going to want to have them facing forward if you're kicking that far back. For the knee, we do have a double jointed knee, so you can get a near butt kick there. On the lower portion of the knee joint, you can rotate that shin. And then we do have a rotate and swivel at the ankle there, with a little bit of a toe crunch as well. And then finally, for the jacket, so the lower portion of the jacket does have some articulation as well, so you can move that up for some more dynamic poses. And then the top portion of the jacket is just soft plastic, so it's not really going to hold a pose, but it will move out of the way when you are articulating your figure. And finally, the sheath here is on a ball joint, so that does rotate as well. So the range of motion for this figure it's pretty good, I would say. Yeah, it's pretty good for the range of motion, but I would say the execution of it, and especially the aesthetic, isn't the best. Just some very unsightly joints, elbows especially, the ab crunch there, and then when you're articulating like the shoulders and the thighs, it can look pretty bad depending on how you have it presented. And then especially my waist joint there wanting to pop out. Again, I'll see if I can fix that after this, but as of now, that has been problematic. All right, so I did heat the top portion in hot water for about 45 seconds, and it does seem to be sticking a lot better there at the waist now. It's not popping off as easily at all. So I think, yeah, it should be fine now. It's unfortunate that it was that way out of the package, but not too bad of a fix there. So just hot water for a little bit. You can see I still have a bit of water there on the jacket that hasn't dried off yet. But yeah, it's definitely holding a lot better now. So that did fix the problem there for me. So I wanted to take a moment to review the effect accessories for the thunderclap and flash effect that do come with the DX edition, because this is really the main reason for getting the DX edition. You do get the one alternate face, but really this is the bulk of the accessories that come with the DX edition. So I want to see how the effect does look. So I do already have the concentration face here on Zenitsu, and I do have him in his pose there. So let's start with the accessories. So we do have the extra base that does have as the 4 peg holes here, 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 and then one in the center as well. And then we have the different effect pieces, which these just plug in. Don't know if it really makes a difference yet in terms of which one goes with which. Try and recreate from the back of the box as much as possible. I'm probably going to use, I think, the taller ones for the blue on the ground, if I can plug that in. How is this supposed to go? Maybe it's probably if I do like that, although I think it goes, there you go. I think that looks closer to the appropriate way. And then I do think that's probably might be too low. Yeah, I think actually, yeah, because you're blocking the view with the taller pieces. So I think it should go for the, I can get these back out now. Shorter piece here on the first one. There we go. Have that angling upward. And then put this on there. Probably go, should I done now? Maybe like that. Yeah, I think that works. So there you do have the pose or the effect recreated. And then for the back one, that back peg hold, you can use the tall stand arm. And then you could have him here at the top. So if we try and get him on here. And there we go. I don't have the pose perfect for the flight position, but that does give you an idea. Actually, I back up the camera because you can no longer see him. So that does give you a sense of how you would look with the effect piece there. So pretty cool. I actually do like the way that this looks. Just rotate him around. Again, I would want to fix this pose a bit. It's not perfect for this attack, but that does look really nice. And for our height, Zenitsu stands at about 5 1/4 inch tall. And for our size comparisons, here we have Zenitsu next to the Figma Nezuko, also from Demon Slayer, and the SH Figure Arts Saiyan Raised on Earth Son Goku from Dragon Ball Z. And here we have him next to the Figma Made Levi from Attack on Titan, and the One-Shot Toy Spirit Detective, aka Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho. And here we have him next to the SH Figure Arts Gojo Satoru from Jujutsu Kaisen, and the SH Figure Arts Ranma Saotome from Ranma 1/2. And here we have next to the amazing Yamaguchi Bakugo from My Hero Academia, and the Star Wars Black Series Fennec Shand from The Mandalorian. Overall, Zenitsu is a likable figure with some pretty unforgivable issues. And really, these are the same issues that have plagued the line with Nezuko and Tanjiro before, which is why at this point they're becoming unforgivable, because we're now 3 figures into the Demon Slayer line, and I really wish Figma would take the time to address these so that we don't have them going forward. And really the issue is with the aesthetic of the articulation. Not the way that it works, not the way that it functions, because it works pretty good and you have good range of motion, but with the way that it looks. Starting with these big gaudy elbow joints, then Zenitsu has the joint right on his abdomen that's visible when he's standing up straight. And the worst part is on the back side, which both Nezuko and Tanjiro had as well. When you lift up that jacket, you don't see their back, you see all the innards of the joints, and it doesn't look good. When you have the figure rear facing, if you do any sort of dynamic pose and lift that jacket, you're gonna see it, and again, it doesn't look good. So I really wish Figma would take the time to address that, put in the extra expense, and just make it right so that when you display your figure from any angle, it's gonna look good. Additionally, with my figure, when I took it out of the package and I was rotating it and articulating it at the waist, it kept popping off and popping in half. So I had to use some hot water and warm the plastic to get a really snug fit, which you shouldn't have to do, but I had to do out of the package. Additionally, it would be nice to get more of a neutral happy face. So you get the worried face, the scared face, the concentration face, and if you have the DX version, you also have the sort of happy, love-struck looking face that's sort of goofy. And don't get me wrong, these are all very much Zenitsu. These are all his personalities to a T, but I would have liked to have something just more neutral that you can display him in. Now, the figure overall does look good, and this is what Figma does well.
The sculpt looks great, the paint looks great, so it's a fantastic looking figure. And again, the faces, they are Zenitsu. Now the question of whether to get the standard or the DX version, again, the DX version has that silly love-struck looking face, and it has the effect pieces for his first form attack, the Thunderclap and Flash. And really, for me, that's where Zenitsu is the coolest. Yeah, I love having him be silly and fun, but for me, it's when he's in his concentration, when he's asleep, and he's attacking. That's where Zenitsu is really cool. And those effect pieces really make him stand out and really make it a centerpiece for your display. So if I'm picking between the two, I'm going to pay the little bit extra to get the DX version. Now as for the question of getting Zenitsu at all, if you're getting the rest of the Demon Slayer line from Figma, then you're going to want to add him. If you're unsure about stepping into the Demon Slayer line, or if you're unsure about which line to get, he's a good looking figure, but just be mindful that the articulation doesn't look great depending on how you're displaying him. If you're going to have him in a standing vanilla pose, those issues may be exposed and it's not going to look great. But if you have him in an attacking pose, like doing his first form attack, then they're going to be hidden and he's going to look pretty solid on your display.